Well, hey guitar players, decided to make a few videos for some folks that are maybe just starting out, maybe get them some basics on how to play leads and get them going on a pentatonic scale. So decided to make a few videos. I am a self-taught player, so I don't maybe use the right terminology, so any of you guys out there that know the right terminology and say that guy's all wrong, you may be right, and I'm happy with that. Just want to get some younger players going, and hopefully they can take this and learn to play some solos and go hopefully a lot further than I ever have. So with that being said, I've got the pentatonic scale I want to show you. I call it fingering patterns rather than positions. There are 5 fingering patterns that progress up the neck and then repeat once you reach the octave. So rather than have to learn notes and names of notes, to me it's much simpler, and it took me years to figure this out. It's much simpler to just know the fingering patterns. It's a good idea, rather than assign note names, to assign numbers to them. For instance, the pentatonic scale has a 1 or root note, a flat third, a fourth, a fifth, a flat 7th, and then of course 8 or the octave. And that just repeats up and down the neck. So if you can learn those 5 fingering patterns, you don't have to know the note names. You know that if you're playing a flat third in A and you're in fingering pattern 1, you may know where that is. So it's a good idea as you play these notes or play these frets to say the number. So, you know, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 or octave. So the reason for that is if you're playing that fingering pattern in A and then you go play it in D and you want to make sure you emphasize the third, you know where it is in that particular fingering pattern without knowing that the note in D is an F and in A is a C. So anyway, because that's way too much to remember. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much time talking. I'm going to make a series of videos. The first video will show fingering pattern 1, second video fingering pattern 2, and so on. So there'll be 5 videos, and once you get through all 5 of those videos, you'll be able to play anywhere on the neck in a pentatonic minor scale. So, and just understand that the pentatonic minor scale is the basis for damn near all music I listen to. It's blues, it's southern rock, it's rock. It's just pervasive in all types of music. And you know, in the blues you might add an extra note called the blue note, which is a flat 5, but it's still basically a pentatonic minor scale. Once we get done with the pentatonic minor, what I'm going to do is I'll show you the pentatonic major. The cool thing about the pentatonic major is you don't have to learn new fingering patterns. They're exactly the same. You just drop them down 3 frets from where the pentatonic minor starts. So we're going to be playing in the key of A, so let's make sure you got your guitar tuned up. I got my handy dandy tuner, and the first note is E. Here's your A string. Here's your D string. Here's your G string. Here's your B string. And your E string. Alright, so I'll be playing through my JCM 800 2204 50-watt head and my Marshall 4x12 cap today. So it's pretty damn loud. You should be able to hear it on my camera. So anyway, for all of these patterns I use all 4 fingers. I think it's a good idea to get used to that. I've seen guys playing you know, with a 3 or 4 fret spread with these 2 fingers like so, but for purposes of fingering the pattern, I assign 1 finger to 1 fret. So in A, this is pentatonic minor in the key of A. We're going to be starting at the A bar fret, or 5th fret. And we're going to assign finger 1, your pointer, to the E string, 5th fret. So there's your first note. That's a root note. This will be the first fingering pattern. So the root note, first finger, makes sense. So it's try when you're playing these patterns to down up pick at all times. The object here is to go slow and be accurate. Once you get slow and accurate down, try speeding it up. If you got a metronome or you tap your foot, whatever, it's good to try and stay in time. And again, I like to use the pinky. My hands aren't particularly large. Saw Joe Walsh not too long ago. The guy's hands are huge, as many players are. You know, guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan used to thumb bass strings while they were playing all this incredible stuff. So I can't do that. My hands are a little smaller. In any case, let's get through this first fingering pattern. Fingering pattern starts on the E string, the low E string at the 5th fret. Down pick. Next is a C note at the 8th fret. Then the A string, 5th fret. Same finger. Then the A string, 7th fret. That's your 5. Then the D string, 5th fret. That's your flat 7th. Then the D string, 7th fret. There's your octave. So far we got onto the G string, 5th fret. There's your flat 3rd, C. Then onto the G string, 7th fret. There's your D note. Then onto the B string, 5th fret. Then the B string, 8th fret. There's your, what is that? I'm drawing a blank. Ah, it's a G. Yeah, G. Then onto the high E string, 5th fret, which is your A note or your root, and then onto the 8th fret, which is your C. So what we got so far is this, played real slow. So when you're playing that fingering pattern, regardless of what the key is, that's how you finger it. If it's in G, if it's in D, alright, so that's basically your first pattern. Spend some time practicing it, you know. And I know it seems really simple and basic and boring, and it's all of that, but there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. Once you get learning it, you can do, you know. Dip up into the 5th pattern. So anyway, that's my first video. Practice it, down, up pick, play it slow, build up speed gradually. One of my favorite exercises is to double pick it and build it like this. Keep practicing, and when you get to that point, we'll move on. Thanks a lot.